Time for the only segment in boxing that gives you the facts and makes you laugh. It's Clapback Thursday. Man, I have a lot to cover today, but I want to start with a wellness check on the worst manager in boxing.
Is he okay? Sort of.
Rick Mirigian.
Fuck that guy.
Wow. Everything has taken a trip to Shitsville for this snake of a human being.
A true snake.
Just a few weeks after a Nevada judge ruled to keep Vergil sidelined, we announced this week that Golden Boy extended our TV broadcast partnership.
We stay partners
With the Zone. Now that he knows, he's fucked. Micro Dick Rick
I have a micro penis.
is suddenly blowing me up and begging me to call him back and fix this? Motherfucker.
Do you believe the balls on this son of a bitch?
You convinced my fighter to sue me to get out of his contract?
Jesus, fool me once, right?
Now Vergil's career is fucked because of your greedy, terrible advice.
My goodness, we got a lot of things to run through in this video today, my friends, as Oscar De La Hoya's Clapback Thursday produces shockwaves in the world of boxing once again, getting not only Rick Mirigian to drop 2 back-to-back videos in response, Oscar De La Hoya in his Clapback Thursday dropping leaked messages between him and Rick Mirigian in March, one on March 15th, one on March 17th. Looks like it was on a second attempt from Rick Mirigian to try to dispute and even fly over to wherever Oscar and Holly are, dispute with them everything that's going down. Talk it out. Oscar De La Hoya leaks it. And Rick Mirigian had something to say about this. But also, Vergil Ortiz. In the comments of the Instagram post by Rick Mirigian, going back and forth with a random dude. Vergil Ortiz getting heated. Now, I first want to read to you guys what the text had to say from Rick Mirigian on March 15th, sent to Oscar De La Hoya. De La Hoya posting the screenshots during his video. This is what the text said from Rick Mirigian, March 15th at 3:51 p.m. He says, "Hi Oscar and Holly. A lot has been said between us, with us still never having even spoken to each other in the entire process. I'm reaching out because this is not about you and I or anyone else, but Vergil and Vergil's well-being. Only as he is a tremendous young man without a bad bone in his body. Vergil is all that should matter. I would like to meet you and Holly and no one else. I simply would like to be heard and listened to in return. To how we all got to this point. I would fly out to you guys tomorrow to do it, and also wherever that may be. I'll fly out to wherever you are and wherever you want to go. Doesn't matter if it's in the alley, doesn't matter if it's in a bar. I'll meet you wherever you want to go and dispute this like men. On March 15th. Now keep in mind, the dude has been trying to talk to him since December and past that. Since the negotiations began and all the drama started. All they've been trying to do is negotiate something else. But Oscar De La Hoya doesn't want to listen, right? He's going with what he has to say. I don't care what Rick Mirigian and Vergil Ortiz have to say. If they don't like my deal, they don't like my $3 million check because they feel like they got bigger options out there. When Vergil Ortiz, keep in mind, has not only a 2.5 minimum, he's supposed to get 2.5 minimum anyways. They're only offering him $3 million. The dude has got paid, what, $4 million? $4.5 million? And is getting offered lower money? When we know for a goddamn how, Oscar De La Hoya, who might even be losing Floyd Schofield Jr., by the way, tweeting this. But Vergil Ortiz had to do with something when it came to the Zone offering a multi-year deal with Golden Boy Promotions and Oscar De La Hoya. When Oscar's doing these deals and he's trying to get signed to the Zone, wherever he goes to them with his roster. They look at his roster, they determine whether or not they want to invest, they want to be part of this. Oscar De La Hoya, Ryan Garcia, who he was just talking about being a free agent, but it's stuck, you know, because he has a bout and everything that has to go with that. And then Vergil Ortiz, who's on the verge of leaving Golden Boy Promotions. Floyd Schofield Jr. not happy with what's going down. His bout being downgraded from a WBA title fight with Lucas Body to a non-title fight because they want to reinstate Gervonta Tank Davis. I haven't seen Oscar De La Hoya say anything about this. I haven't seen him come out and drop videos. He's busy enough to drop Clapback Thursday videos, but he's not busy enough to come out and fight for his fighter, Floyd Schofield Jr. But he'll talk crap on Ring Magazine. Check it out, man. Rick Mirigian also sent him a text on March 17th because Oscar De La Hoya never responded. Now, this was at 9:27 a.m. I'm guessing Rick Mirigian was like, come on, dude. You know, you didn't text me back. I want you to text me back. I'm going to try to send him another message. It says, are you available for a call now? I want to at least, you and I, hear each other out for Vergil to how we got here, as our window is gone soon today. That was March 17th at 9:27 a.m. as our window is gone today. Now, there was more to that text message, but that's all Oscar De La Hoya leaked. Rick Mirigian had something to say about this on his Instagram and dropped 2 back-to-back videos. And like I said, Vergil Ortiz getting into an argument in the comments. But first, I want you to see the first video that he posted, and then I'm going to read to you what he said in it. Here we go.
Hey, Oscar, it's your favorite manager. Hey, Oscar, I didn't beg you. I wouldn't beg you for shit, to be honest with you. You said you were a grown-ass man, Oscar. You just said that. You're not a grown-ass man, Oscar. You're not. I called you in December, and I texted you in December. That's a long time ago. Grown-ass men talk. They figure things out. And why don't you post a picture of the text that I sent you? Because it was respectful. And it wasn't because you got a TV deal that you don't even know the dates for, Oscar. Where's the calendar at, Oscar? Where's it at? Oscar, I didn't give my fighter bad advice. He's not sidelined. I know it's hard, Oscar, but you said he's going to sit out like Mikey Garcia for 2 years. His career's ruined. Oscar, the arbitration's in, 90 days? An arbitrator makes a decision? He might even make a decision quicker, Oscar.
He posts that with, I love you, at Oscar De La Hoya, in reaction to the Clapback Thursday that Oscar dropped today. And Vergil Ortiz left a comment on this post and started to go back and forth with a random dude. Let me read this to you. He says in the comments, Vergil Ortiz, ask him to post a picture of the text or cause he claimed he had made to me over the holidays. Saying, tell him to post all the pictures. The dude was saying that he was wishing me happy holidays, this and that. Well, he's lying. Now, somebody decided to comment, and it actually triggered Vergil Ortiz to comment back. This dude commented, random dude says, that's completely irrelevant and doesn't matter. Vergil comments back and says, it matters because it's a lie, and it's a petty ass lie. And if you can lie about things that don't even matter, then that means you will most definitely lie about things that do matter. Psychology, bud. Stay in your lane. You don't know anything about what's going on. You know what, Rick Mirigian? Maybe this random ass dude knows more than us, the people who are actually involved. Continues on by saying, let's get a quote from him and see how much he charges on an hour of consultation. The dude comments, yeah. Vergil responds, worry about things you actually know about, with laughing emojis. The dude comments, we all know whatever went on in court. It's public knowledge. Vergil says, whatever went on in court, with parentheses, you don't even know what the ruling was about, do you? Go ahead and tell me what you think it was about. The dude responds, I'm not gonna argue. Have a good day, champ. Vergil Ortiz putting this man in check. Now, let's continue as Rick Mirigian decides to post another video, back-to-back videos, in response to Oscar De La Hoya. Now, I'm going to play this video for you, and I'm going to read to you guys what he said posting it.
Hey, Oscar, I thought I'd help you out a little bit. Here's a copy of the text that I sent you, and Holly, by the way. I respect her also. She helps run the company, and we know you're never there, and you never show up to any meetings, and hell, if I asked you about Vergil's negotiation, you wouldn't know because you canceled at the last second. And you did that quite often. You never even participated in one. But I want to help you out, so I'm going to show a picture of my begging-ass text, and then you can see if you had a real manager, you know, back when you were fighting, how much better your life would be, because it's not about me, it's about the fighter. And there's nothing that I wouldn't do for any of my fighters. Any of them. And I have. So, have fun. If you need help reading the text, you know, ask somebody, I assume. But understand, like, you're never there. You're never involved, and you don't even know what's going on, and you just put up this.
So he drops that video and says, here's a copy of my, in quotations, begging text that at Oscar De La Hoya, so he can see this, refers to, but wouldn't show it. Now, he did show it. We can't lie, he did show it. It was on the video. That's where everybody saw it. I also sent one in December before the divide and called him since he never showed up to the meetings to negotiate Vergil's deal to do the same. None were returned, but it's clear as day who was a grown man and who was not. There is nothing I wouldn't do for my fighter. It's about him and nothing else. So make it make sense. I burned you? The time to talk it out is over? When did it ever start? Laugh my ass off. Pobrecito. Just call me and let's hug it out. You're still my favorite fighter. Kind of hard to know what's going on when you never show up. I know you had far more important things to do. I sent to both Oscar and Holly as she was respectful to me, and I felt like she cared what actually took place with the company and was involved in it. That's the only reason I added her. I'm a grown-ass man. I always believe in speaking and talking through issues, no matter how rough they are, and always have been respectful to Oscar, even through his meltdowns. He's actually a good guy, just misled by people, I feel. Now, Rick MIRIGIAN, man, I feel like he's kind of capping too a little bit. Not on the negotiations, because I read everything, I do my own research, and I got my own assessment, right? You could read everything online, everything's public. You can also text Rick MIRIGIAN, get his side of the story, and try to put everything together. But here he says, I always believe in speaking and talking through issues, no matter how rough they are, and always have been respectful to Oscar. Wow, let's be real, man. There's a lawsuit going on. And I know I'm on the side of Vergil Ortiz and Rick MIRIGIAN. I want the fighter to get more money. But respectfully, you can't say that, you know, you believe in talking about the issues, you know, first, like a man, when there's a lawsuit involved, right? I think now that Oscar De La Hoya, you know, is suing Rick MIRIGIAN, I believe, for $10 million, maybe Rick MIRIGIAN, you know, was trying to reach out March 15th and March 17th and was trying to talk this out instead of having to go to court, which makes things very interesting, because even though I gave you guys my breakdown and my thoughts on it, on the certain breaches, I also feel like that doesn't mean that Rick MIRIGIAN is going to win the lawsuit. That doesn't mean they're going to win at all. Okay? It's going to come down to who can prove and who has more evidence. You need proof to be able to claim that you're the victor in this one. And that's what's going to come down to. Rick MIRIGIAN, we heard his side of the story. We've heard Oscar De La Hoya's side of the story. They both sound like, you know, we'll be real and say, well, Vergil Ortiz is under contract, but we'll be real on my part of the view and say, well, this dude is getting scammed for one of the biggest fights in the sport of boxing. Title or no title. Let's be real. When Vergil Ortiz knocked out Erickson Lubin and Boots Ennis walked into that ring, the whole boxing world was hyped up and was ready to see that. And is getting low bought, in my opinion. And all I want is for the fighter to get more money, to be able to provide for his family. Oscar De La Hoya got all the goddamn money in the world right now. The dude has several fighters, and will continue. Like he said, fighters go, promoters stay forever. It's the way of the game. Oscar De La Hoya knows it. This was some exciting stuff, man. Rick Mirigian clapping back. I clapped back Thursday from Oscar De La Hoya. This is starting to get interesting. You know, when everything ends up being done, the arbitration and everything, I hope Vergil Ortiz gets himself out of the contract, and I hope he's a free man. I hope he wins this. I'm always on the fighter side. But if Oscar De La Hoya wins, then it is what it is. A lesson learned for fighters out there, you know, trying to do the same thing. They can learn from this, from things like Mikey Garcia did, things like Vergil Ortiz did. As much as it's not good for Vergil Ortiz, it could be a lot better for future fighters to be able to learn something from. You know, everybody makes mistakes, and you got to learn from them. And like we all grow up with our tweaker tío or our tweaker tía telling us to not do no drugs, for, you know, try not to do no meth or nothing like that. Try not to hit any líneas, because you're going to end up like them, right? Now, as much as you want to crap down on them, you got to respect them at the end of the day, because I learned off of him. You know, he was the one who had to take all the L's in life and struggle through life, and I learned off that. So at the end of this, whoever wins this, to be honest, it doesn't really matter. Vergil Ortiz, if he wins this, this is absolutely fantastic for fighters. Power in the fighters, right? Don't succumb to the promoters when they're trying to lowball you in your last fight of your contract, when your minimum is 2.5 million and they're trying to offer you 3 mil to fight Jerome Butenis. But if Vergil Ortiz wins, and this is a lesson learned from boxing fans, hardcore boxing fans, and also future fighters coming up. Let me know what you guys think, though. This is the MMA Boxing Addict channel reporting to you some great stuff.